Welcome back. It's Sports by Jack again on Leaf Space and YouTube. Got to talk about Carolina in Toronto last night, beating the Leafs 4-3. Paul Dwyer, excuse me, that was Patrick Dwyer, not Paul Dwyer. I think Paul Dwyer is an actor, I don't know. Scoring late in the third period, and c'est la vie, we lose again 4-3. One specific thing I want to talk about is the Leafs playing style. They give up turnovers and they only score on the power play. Last night's game, perfect example. 2 power play goals, we got 1 even strength. Mikhail Grabovski and Phil Kessel played well, and that's about all she wrote, because John Mitchell is one player that I want to highlight. A player who's not playing well. 3 or 4 points all season. He is not NHL ready. He's only 25 years old. I don't blame the kid. It's hard to play in Toronto when you're young. But this guy really does not belong, in my opinion, right now. He needs to get to the AHL and still work on his game. You send down Nazem Kadri for not playing well. You gotta send this kid down. Nazem Kadri actually has potential to be a star player one day. John Mitchell will never ever be a star player. Not that he's supposed to be, but he's not even a good checking player. He's like minus 40 in his career overall. I mean, this kid is not supposed to be in the big time right now. He should be in the minors still working on his game. I wouldn't necessarily put him out of the NHL completely for his future, but for now I think he belongs in the minors. Another thing is deflections and turnovers. While I mentioned turnovers earlier, deflections have seemingly beat Jonas Gustafsson a bunch of times. Still, for the 3rd video in a row, can't say his name properly. Anyway, the Leafs look like a travesty right now, man. They really needed this game in the Eastern Conference. As I was saying, we need to beat up on these Eastern Conference opponents, and it's not going down. In other Leafs news, the guy who threw waffles on the ice has been barred from the ACC. It's the appropriate move just because it's annoying for the fans and the players to have to stop the game. But really, can you really be mad at the guy with the way the Leafs have been playing this year? And can you really be mad at the guy for the way the Leafs have been in the last 25 years? I don't think so. It's kind of unfortunate. I wish they would let him back in the arena. I wish we were allowed to be passionate and express ourselves for being pissed off the way we should be. But at the same time, you gotta remain civil, and so they had to kick the guy out. Another guy that should be kicked out of the ACC, Ron Wilson. I was never sold on the guy being the Leafs coach from the get-go. We have too many young players, and you know, there used to be a thing about Pat Quinn only being able to coach veteran teams, and then he went to Edmonton and coached the Oilers, but that didn't really work out. I think the same is true for Ron Wilson. He can only coach veteran teams that are competing for the Cup. He's not a guy that's supposed to coach young guys. He didn't make the right decision with Nazem Kadri keeping him in the minors. Now he calls him up. He plays well for a few games and sends him back down. I don't think he knows what he's really doing. I think he kind of does give in to Toronto's media pressure, even though he would never say it in an interview, and he acts like he totally doesn't care. Trust me, he cares, and it does get to him. He's used to coaching in non-hockey markets, which no one has ever really thought of before. I mean, I can't remember the last time he had a coaching job in a city that mattered to the NHL. Yes, the San Jose Sharks do sell out hockey games. Their tickets are 1/10 of the price of what we get charged here. All in all, though, I think Ron Wilson's time is numbered in terms of days and weeks, not months. I think he'll be gone before the end of the season. There's no point in keeping him. We might as well start fresh. Or maybe they'll just let him play out the season because they probably have to swallow his contract if they do fire him as a team. So maybe he'll stick around, but I really don't think he belongs. I think we need a coach that's better with younger talent. We need to develop slowly and lose for a few more years, get them draft picks, trade capital, and then we're on our way. But this has been another episode of Sports by Jack. I appreciate you watching, but if you ain't watching, then you don't know Jack about sports.